All right, and welcome back to Conservative Arkansas Media. I'm Paul Harrell. So we're going to take a break from talking about education, which is a big deal, obviously, right now at the Capitol in Little Rock. And we're gonna take a break from talking about the abortion monument that passed out of a Senate committee, and that's Senator Kim Hammer's bill. I want to go back to what we talked about last week and several weeks ago, and that's SB 81. This is a bill that would bring libraries under obscenity laws. We've talked to Senator Dan Sullivan about this. He's the Senate sponsor of the bill, but I wanted to reach out to the lead House sponsor on this, and that's State Representative Justin Gonzales, and he joins us now. Mr. State Representative, thanks so much for coming on the program.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, so first of all, thank you. I just want to thank you for sponsoring this bill. I know you're, probably getting all kinds of pushback from the LGBT enclave, but at the same time, this is a real problem, and so conservatives are relieved that you guys at the legislature are trying to address the problem of the left coming after our kids. Basically, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, so it's exactly what you just said. It's the left coming after kids. I have gotten pushback from some librarians, even some just recently English teachers worried about what it's going to do with the classics that they teach, and it doesn't touch that. This is about providing obscene materials to kids and protecting kids from that. Right now, obviously, librarians are exempt from that obscenity law, and this is fixing that problem.
Yeah, and it's also, so it also sets up a process by which parents can complain. It goes through and this is also school libraries as well. I thought that was a really good addition to the bill. So not only are you bringing, libraries and librarians under existing obscenity laws, so, you could be criminally liable. If I handed out some of these books, Justin, if I handed out some of these books on the street to a kid, I could go to jail, but not with librarians. But then you have this situation where if a parent at a school library or a public library sees a book that they're not getting rid of, there's a process that you can go through a process, and it ends up in the hands of either the school board, which is elected, or the county quorum court, which is also elected. And that's a really big deal, that it's going to end up with elected officials, so the people will actually be represented, or at least that's the hope.
No, that's exactly right. It's just if these librarians decide that they don't want to remove those books from the kids section, and they want to make them available to kids, sets up a process that they have to publicly say why. The boards have to review the books, so they know what they're talking about. They know what's in these things, and then publicly say why they think that should be available to kids. Because some of these just absolutely should not be available to kids, and that's not really just my opinion. I mean, it's in the obscenity laws that most people, like you said, can't provide this material to kids, but somehow librarians have been exempt from that. Um, it's funny. There was another state representative that was showing me some pictures of they've made copies of a book, or somebody had made copies of pages of some of these books, and this representative was showing them to me in the House chamber, and kind of like secretively saying, hey, look at this. This is what's in some of these kids' books, and these books were written for kids 9 years old and up, and they were so bad that we didn't want anybody to see what was on the pages.
Yeah.
It was basically pornography for kids.
And yeah, and it's the sexualization of kids. The word you're not supposed to use is grooming, but that's exactly what's going on. I think I know the packet you're talking about. I haven't seen it, but there was a packet that was referenced in the Senate committee last week by a woman from Northwest Arkansas named Gloria Martin, who gave a testimony. And in the previous show last week, I had to give a disclaimer. The Democrats are saying, well, you're taking these excerpts out of context. And yet I had to give a disclaimer on the show. I said, hey, I played the tape. I said, this woman is about to read for you like quotes of, sexual acts and all kinds of stuff. So if you got kids in the room, it's like there's no context where a child should be hearing the phrases and terms and the acts described. And so, yeah, I mean, it made me blush. I mean, just to hear this in a public setting, I am sure it did the same thing for the legislatures, the legislators there. What can you tell us about where this bill is? It passed the Senate committee, passed the full Senate. It's now at the House. It's going to be in the House. It's in the House Judiciary Committee. So, when is this bill going to be heard, and what do you expect to happen?
So it's on. It got put on special order of business for next Tuesday. I spoke with the chair of Judiciary this week, and she put it on special order for Tuesday, and has allocated an hour for hearing it so far. You know, I'm gonna be surprised if we get through with that in an hour unless they limit debate. But
Yeah. Well, they limited
right
the.
now, that's planned.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was just saying. Right now, that's a plan to hear it Tuesday.
Okay. Yeah, in the Senate committee, they limited debate to 1 minute, which which actually I think kind of served it well because people had to get right to the point. Unlike what happened, let's see, what is today? Wednesday. Unlike what happened last night in the in the the House Education Committee, which went till 9 o'clock. I think they started at 2 in the afternoon and they went to 9 at night. But of course, I know that's a much more sensitive issue. I mean, because here's the deal: I've never seen drag queens at the Capitol until this session. Now, maybe it has happened, but I haven't seen that until this session. And so, had you gotten any hate mail over this from the radical left?
Um, no, I wouldn't say hate mail. I mean, I guess it depends on how you describe hate mail. Nothing threatening or anything like that. So,
Okay, well, that's good. That's good. We'll see. I mean, the testimony, the hearing is sure to be one where there's opposition from the left, and they want to continue these books. And I've been talking about for a while now, State Representative Gonzales, that it is such a big deal, and this is not just in Arkansas, but this is in Christian red states all across the country. We're now having the same debates. We're passing the same type of laws trying to protect kids. And it really is encouraging that you guys are taking your responsibility seriously in terms of what is the function of government and in protecting our children is back in style. And it's a responsibility. I mean, if you guys were to see whether it's the kids coming to drag shows or whether it's the taxpayer funded smut being peddled to our kids in the name of a perverted understanding of the First Amendment or freedom of speech, you guys are really stepping up and representing your constituents and protecting our kids. And so I really commend you for this, and I thank you for it.
well, I appreciate that, and it's exciting times in Arkansas with the new administration, whole new attitude at the Capitol about addressing these things, and it's time we do it. We only have a chance to do this every 2 years, and you know, it seems like the left is coming up with these things so fast that we can't even stay on top of them. I had a pastor friend of mine ask me one day. He's like, why can't you do this to address these problems? Why are these things coming up? Like, because they're creating evil faster than what we can imagine. We can't address these things that fast. We can't even dream up the things that they're putting out there. I mean, who would have thought that a book like that would be available for 9 year olds? Um, I don't even want to mention the names of the book because I don't really want people going out there and looking these things up. But if you want to search them out, they're out there, and I think most people will be shocked about what's out there available to kids, being
Yeah.
written for kids.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and I like how you put that. They're coming up with evil things that we can't even imagine. Yeah, I mean, so if things continue and society continues down this slippery slope of depravity, 2 years from now, there's going to be a whole nother list of problems that we have to address. So it's important that we get these done, and again, it's happening all over the country. We're now having these debates, and I think it's great. I mean, this was also true during COVID, but the I guess kind of the last vestiges of our republic that are still thriving are the fact that we live in different states, and those states can pass different laws to address issues that are important to the people. aside from the corrupt federal government. Obviously, we know what they would want. They want depravity. They want the evil to essentially flourish. They condone it, whether they condone it with their words or they condone it with their deafening silence about what's going on. But the state legislatures are closer to the people, and we're seeing the fruits of that. Again, I'm encouraged, and like you said, with the new administration, it really does feel like we're finally conservative. Truly, we've always been conservative. I mean, we've been that way for a while, but it seems like we're finally. I mean, when Sarah Huckabee Sanders says, the differences between normal and crazy, that's what we all think, and she's saying
Yeah,
what we all think. It's so
yep,
encouraging.
that's exactly right.
Well, we
Yep,
appreciate it,
it's
State Representative Justin Gonzales. Keep up the good work, and if you ever want to come back on, you got anything you need to say, you have our number, and really appreciate you, sir.
all right. Thank you.